Even with the bourbon market contracting and prices starting to get lowered a little bit across the board, there's still no shortage of, let's call it, premium whiskeys that cost over $100. Now, some of them aren't necessarily worth it, but some of them are. And that's what we're going to talk about. Roll that intro. Hey guys, welcome back to T-Rod Whiskey. I am your host, T-Rod, and this is the internet's most okayest whiskey channel. If you are new to the channel, welcome. This is where the magic happens. If you are a returning viewer, well then, hey, welcome back. Glad to have you here once again. So today what I want to talk about a little bit is some of those bottles that carry that $100 plus price point, but are actually worth the squeeze. Bottles where you're actually getting that $100 plus value and not feeling like a total and complete schlub when you get home for shelling out, 100 simoleons for a bottle that kind of, well, sucks. Kind of got a rough order here, but this is just based on my opinion. You might feel differently about some of these, but hey, let me know down in the comments. You guys are usually never shy about sharing your opinions. But without any further lead in, number 7 on this list, Old Forester 1924 10-year-old. So this is 10 years old, 100 proof. It is the newest release from the Whiskey Row collection of Old Forester. I know this one has gotten some flack for its price tag, and I am inclined to agree with it. $125, $100, $150, it seems a bit much for this one, given that it's lower proof than 1920, but it does carry that 10-year-old age statement. So right at that $120 mark. Is it a little bit pricey? Yes. Is it limited availability? Also yes. But is it good whiskey? Yeah, it's pretty darn good, especially if you like that Old Forester profile. Some of those classical bourbon notes, but just dialed up to 11. The 10-year age statement does wonders. The 100 proof is really, really nice. Would like to see it at a 1920 proof range. Like I think it's 120. I don't know. I don't drink 1920 enough to know. But a few proof points more wouldn't necessarily hurt my feelings, but it's just a really good whiskey from a really reputable distillery. Enough said. Number 6 on this list. Little tater bait for y'all. Blanton's Straight from the Barrel. Now, this one specifically was a gift to a coworker of mine, which he then traded away to me once he realized he couldn't take the heat, so he got out the kitchen. But this Blanton Straight from the Barrel was imported by La Maison du Whisky. So this was in France. Obviously warehouse H, Rick number 82, 128.8 proof. So regular Blantons, okay, I think that it creeping up to that $80 price point kind of hurt it a little bit. Although I have been seeing it around quite a bit more. The Straight from the Barrel still wins my heart. It has the higher proof. It has no filtration. It's still a single barrel, still comes with the little jockey on the top. Great bottle design. The only beef I have is the extremely limited availability of it. I can't find it anywhere here in Michigan. And when I do find it, it's generally cranked up quite a bit. But that's not a knock on the bottle. That's a knock on the store owners. And that's a whole topic that we can talk about at another date. Something different entirely. But the Blanton Straight from the Barrel, my favorite expression from the lineup that I've had so far. Number 5. This one might be a little bit of a controversial pick, but this is the Murray Hill Club special release from the Joseph Magnus Distillery. Now, Nancy Fraley helps make these blends, and she's not nicknamed the Nose for nothing. She's very, very good at what she does. And this blend is no different. It's very good. It is actually, this time around, blended bourbon finished in Calvados casks. I had to look up what Calvados even is. And as far as I know, it's like a pear liqueur, I think is kind of the idiot's way of saying it. This is batch number 4, bottle 3536. And this clocks in at a very respectable 111 proof. These are still sitting around on shelves. They didn't fly off like they previously had. And I think that that's maybe due to some of the declining quality in some of the Magnus cigar blends, but these are really good. So if you can get your hands on these, they're definitely worth grabbing. Look for the blue label. Normal one would be gray, but whenever I see these around, I definitely think about grabbing another one. The problem is I haven't gotten to it a whole lot. That's probably because it was sitting on the back of a shelf and I had to dust it off for this video. Number 4. And I talked about this one in its own separate video, so you guys should see this coming at least a little bit. This is the Penelope Estate 10-year single barrel. Specifically, this is the 36% rye variant. So on these estate bottles, at least the single barrels, you can see on the back where it's got the barrel mash bill. They come in either 36% rise or 21% rise. The 36% are the money bottles. I have never had a bad 36% MGP bourbon. Now, or 36% rye MGP bourbon. They're just really, really good. This one's 105 proof, super well bodied, super good volume, lots and lots of depth and character. I know Dan from the Bourbon Junkie said that this was possibly the greatest bottle of whiskey ever made. I don't know that that's accurate. However, it is damn good. At its suggested price point of just over $100, this one makes the list with bells on. It is definitely a bottle worth having at your bar. And any collector is really going to want it. Number 3. If you look behind me, you will see that I have quite a few of these, but this is Mayor Pingree 10-year-old cask strength blue label. So these have kind of always been difficult to get a hold of. This one is from Pine Lake Market. Shout out to Frankie. Great chatting with you. This one's 67.6%, barrel number 134. These are fantastic. I know it's going to get some flack because these are MGP barrels that have been aging in Michigan for quite a while, but it's still damn good whiskey. Now, the price tag, a little bit high on these. Sometimes people get a little bit pissy about that, but hey, free market economy, get what you can for them. And these fly out the door when they are available. So yeah, are they a little bit more pricey than some? Sure, but I think they're worth it. I have never had a bad bottle of Pingree 10-year blue label. I have had some 11 and 12 years that are absolutely exceptional. Would love to get my hands on one of those. Still hunting for my first Mayor Pingree hazmat bottle. Was hoping the one that we selected a couple weeks ago, about a month ago, was going to end up being hazmat. Had a stratospheric proof, wasn't quite that high. So the hunt continues. But Mayor Pingree 10 years, when you can find these single barrels, grab them up. They are muy delicioso. Definitely a favorite. Number 2, and I've got a couple of these, Old Louisville single barrels. This one is from last year. This was Motor City Bourbon Club did this pick. It's a 9-year, coming in at 114 proof. Old Louisville has been doing some really, really cool sourcing and blending and single barrels and just putting out some absolute stunner bottles. And this one is one of them. This one, I got lots of notes of like dark cherry and wood oak and sweet vanilla. Just really, really cool. A fun bottle to have because Old Louisville is not actually distributed here in Michigan. So I kind of feel like it's special. Also, Luciano did a great job picking these barrels out. This year's, last year's, which is this one here, they're just always bangers. Some people complain a little bit about the price, and I understand, $150 a bottle can be a lot, especially in this economy. And I am not immune to those feelings. Believe me, I have to watch my pennies and kind of make sure I balance my budget, but these are really, really good. So anytime someone that I know that has an amazing palate wants to pick one of these and then wants to offer me a buy-in to the barrel pick, yeah, I'm going to be down. For sure. Get you one of these if you can. Some of the other offerings are really good from Old Louisville and they're a bit cheaper, but the single barrels are really where this distillery shines. I know they got a lot of traction from Kentucky Bourbon Festival this last weekend, and I hope only better things to come. But that's going to take us to the number 1 pick. And this was kind of tough, but I got it narrowed down to my favorite, which is Old Stubborn from Rising Tide Spirits. So this is a single barrel pot still straight bourbon whiskey. Let me see, I got the stats right here. It does come in this absolutely amazing tube. 61.11%, 122.22 proof, and it is a wheated bourbon. Comes in a beautiful tube. The bottle itself, every one of these bottles, guys, is hand-blown glass. I don't know if you can tell, but there's the logo, that little bird, is inside the bottle. Now, it was tough because Old Stubborn had a counterpart release this year, and it was Old Swagger, which I actually think the Old Swagger tube looks better than the Old Stubborn. However, when it came down to the whiskey profile, Old Stubborn was my winner. Old Swagger is amazing in its own right. It's a 12-year-old bottled and bond, 100 proof. Fantastic, just chef's kiss. Same thing, hand-blown glass bottles. They're very, very similar, but just a little bit different.
Same, but different. But still same.
Because they were handmade. So, look beautiful on a shelf. The tubes are adorning the end of my bar because they're amazing. Very, very happy that I have these in the collection and happy to share them with friends when they come over. But that's it, guys. That's my list of 7 bottles over $100 that I think are actually worth that money. That juice is worth the squeeze, okay? I hate calling whiskey juice, but I need to squeeze the pun in. Sue me. Until next time, guys. Cheers.